Hey all you heroes out there, and welcome back to Hell Yeah Gaming Reacts to Death Battle, where I'll be your professional protagonist today, and we are excuse me, okay, that's awful. We are diving into the brand new death battle of Batman versus Iron Man, and right off the bat, you can already see exactly who I support, who I like more. However, who I like more in this situation is not who I believe will win. I am, by the rules of Death Battle, how they figure things, how they calculate things, what they put together for who does what, I am 100% certain going into this without any research knowledge whatsoever that the winner will be Iron Man. And that's just as the cookie crumbles there. Well, what maybe my mind will change after they provide their research information, I highly doubt it, but we'll see. And thus, the superfan of Super Friends is going in. Let's see now. There's our logo.
Batman, DC's vengeful
Hellbat armor.
Iron Man, Marvel's genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
These two mortal men have used their intellect and determination to take their place alongside gods.
And being filthy,
Indeed.
stinking rich sure doesn't hurt either. He's whiz and I boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
There's the posing, the animation posing. Woo woo.
That's
No,
right,
go away.
He's back. In case you're one of the many psycho supervillains stalking the streets of Gotham City.
He's back to get his butt kicked again, because every time they put Batman in here,
But
he
before he
gets
dressed like
wrecked.
a giant rodent and employed little boys in booty shorts as meat shields, he was Bruce Wayne, scion of the
meat
multi-billion-dollar
shields,
company,
please have more
Wayne
respect than that.
Until Mommy and Daddy got 360
Amanda Waller considers him
leaving
metahuman.
the void inside
So
him
I
that
said
can
that.
only be filled by the never-ending quest for justice. And
Why did you say that name?
That night,
He also wants to know where are the drugs.
The Batman was born. He would devote his life to perfecting his body and mind to become more than human. He would transcend his own mortality into legend. A
He
nightmare
rules
to haunt
vengeance.
evildoers till the end
He is
of
the
time.
knight.
Jesus Christ! I feel like Zoloft and therapy would work too, but okay, whatever works.
Batman's resume is absurd. He's mastered 127 martial
Yes,
arts, trained
it
in
absolutely
assassination,
is.
and is a super genius with a photographic memory. He's the world's greatest detective, bar none.
Like how the League
Hell
keeps
yeah.
erasing Batman's memories because he keeps finding their secret bases. Or the time he found a dead body with no entry or exit wound and a 40-year-old bullet nearby, and somehow determined it must have been fired backwards in time.
Master marksman,
Comic
escape
books
artist,
are
forensic
insane.
scientist, mechanical engineer,
And Ninja
one of Batman's assets stands above them all.
is Bat Stacks.
That's good. Okay, Hellbat, highly powerful nanokinetic suit by the Justice League absorbs biomass as its fuel stood up to Darkseid.
Reinforced Kevlar and titanium, his batsuit can resist knives and gunfire, and even
Right, yeah, the Batsuit's irrelevant here. It's not gonna do anything against Iron Man,
Batman's
so...
distance from the epicenter and the surface area of his body, he must have withstood a blast of nearly 60 tons of TNT.
With the regular Batsuit.
Infrared and a radio, while his utility belt is chock full of smoke bombs, nerve toxins, a grappling hook, and batarangs.
All kinds of crazy stuff. What about the shark repellent?
That allowed Batman to wage his one-man war on crime.
Common joke there. Actually, the shark repellent was in the helicopter that they were in.
In order to bring his personal brand of Bat Justice to the entire world.
And Batman's knack
Ah,
for
yeah.
schemes and preparation skyrocketed the match, turning him into the Bat God we all know and meme. Like the time he developed a backup personality that would ensure he functions as Batman in case of a psychological attack that drove him mad. A backup human operating system. Like a computer, but it's his brain.
He has plans tailored to his teammates' weaknesses should they ever go rogue. He's developed contingencies for everything, which is why Bats comes prepared with extra suits for any occasion.
like his
Many.
Nightfall exosuit to battle Bane, or the Justice Buster, which he obviously designed to combat the Justice League. He even got a final bat suit
But
from his sixth
none
dimensional
of them
self that
are-
can rewrite your mind.
Oh.
But my favorite is his stylish
What?
sailor suit, which he wore after getting weird Magneto powers. They just made his suit look like this for some reason. There's also the Rainbow Batman suit,
Great,
Sorrows, and of
you know,
course,
comic
bat
books, long
nipples.
time
Take
craziness.
the bat nipples. All paid for with the Bat credit card. Never leave the cave without it.
But perhaps his
Never.
greatest suit of armor, the one designed to put him on the same level of insane mind-bending power as his league teammates, is the Hellbat.
AKA
All
the
right.
coolest looking thing ever invented.
Forged by Superman in the heart of the sun, each member of the Justice League contributed to this monstrous mech's abilities.
And boy,
Yes.
the Hellbat is absolutely hardcore.
Made of nanokinetic mesh, it can shapeshift around Batman's body and operates via telepathic link.
It can
Aw,
fly, turn
yeah.
invisible, and fire a bat-shaped chest laser. And by diverting all the suit's power into his fists, he can use the Devastator, a punch powered by Wonder Woman's strength. And she's strong enough to yank the friggin' Earth around. Though it does have a 95% chance of giving old bats a heart attack.
Which he has
Yeah.
himself to save all of Gotham City on at least one occasion. It's that level.
It's
of
nothing you haven't been through
that
before.
pushed him to use the Hellbat in his one-man invasion of Apocalypse in order to bring his son back to life.
You know, Apocalypse, home to the god of evil himself.
Yes.
Batman
Dark
stared down
side.
the final boss of DC Comics and actually kicked his ass.
This is incredible, considering Darkseid
Absolutely.
is strong enough to destroy entire universes and fast enough to fly to the edge of the universe in seconds. Since the DC universe is significantly larger than our own, that would be
Absolutely.
over 600 quintillion times the speed of light.
That
Woo!
same Darkseid avatar even took a Shoryuken from Alan Scott, who was amped up from the energy of the multiverse. And bats
Aw,
claim his blood
yeah.
just as hard.
But this incalculable strength is drawn from Batman's own life force, specifically his metabolism. Should any fight with the Hellbat go on too long, Batman may succumb to its hunger before finishing the fight himself. Or absorb someone else's biomass for fuel. That works too.
So basically, you'd have to be
Eh,
completely batshit insane
yucky.
to pilot this thing. And Bats,
He's
is
pretty
sorry to break
crazy.
it to you, but the grown man that wears his underwear on the outside isn't all there.
In addition to being a perfectionist, though, he's completely aware of this. That's why he does not kill. Because if he
True.
did, he understands that he can't trust himself to know when to stop.
Batman has outsmarted the nigh-omniscient Metron,
What
defeated his
message
dark
about
counterpart, the
the
Batman who
God
laughs,
of knowledge,
and
some
humiliated
later
Superman in a one-on-one fight. No, wait, that one's not canon.
Yeah, that
one
one's-
he technically had health.
Yeah.
That one.
Although many of his greatest accomplishments have been aided by his exceptional prep work and foreknowledge, he's no stranger to being put on the spot, even in the face of Armageddon. Who else would kick the Spectre, the Angel of Wrath, God's divine judgment, in the face, and then tell him to get the hell out of his city?
I'll tell you who.
Someone who's
Goddamn
crazy.
motherfucking na Batman.
Batman!
My parademons arrive soon.
Think I haven't planned for this?
Ugh, that's an ugly Darkseid design.
You
I'm
would
sorry.
be forgiven for doubting the destiny of genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist Tony Stark.
Yeah, because you can add massive prick to that list.
I was about to say, he's also a giant ass.
Leaving the mind-bogglingly brilliant prodigy to inherit a multi-billion-dollar tech company.
I mean, even at the end of, you know, all of his, like, character development stuff, he's still a pretty big
Considering He
asshole.
made his fortune as a part of a military-industrial complex, selling devastating high-tech arms to the highest bidder.
And Tony got to see his handiwork firsthand.
Kablooey.
Blew up in his face.
Tony never had much of a heart to begin with, but after
And the
that, he
shrapnel.
literally had even less. Unlike so many men of weaker spirit, though, Tony refused to give up. He was made of tougher stuff. He was made of iron.
So he built himself a robot suit to bust the hell.
It's actually
out
a
of
gold
it.
titanium
When he
alloy.
got back to the good old US of A, he devoted his life to protecting the world from the kinds of weapons he helped make by making an even better robot suit.
Yeah.
Superhero.
Oh, freaking! I thought I preloaded all the ads out. I'm sorry, everybody.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Building new suits of armor wasn't just a hobby for Tony.
The
but
line that launched this whole
career as a founding
universe.
member of the Avengers. He has constructed dozens of different models, which he can call to him at once like a literal one-man army.
Most of his armor is
Absolutely.
with the same basic toolkit: super strength, massively hypersonic flight, and repulsor blast.
Repulsors are extremely
Pew,
dense
pew, pew.
of muons, unstable subatomic particles similar to electrons.
Just say,
Really interesting.
suit go
They're
pew.
classified as leptons, which don't have any big substructures, just sort of like
It's a laser.
fun out of it. His armors also come with onboard AI.
Numerous
Like
AIs,
which
so
can
that
hack
kind of
into enemy
himself,
technology,
yes.
command his other suits to fight remotely, and operate down to the picosecond. That's 1/1,000,000th of a second.
And that right there is what's going to give him the
As
win.
big as Manhattan. By taking a look at its speed, Tony's armor would have had to be hidden with an energy of nearly 300 teratons of TNT. That's 3 times stronger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Years
Kaboom.
later, the Earth has conditioned Tony to be prepared for any threat imaginable, and he has an armor for almost any occasion.
He's got an armor
That
to
he
bust
does.
wolves, an armor to bust Thors, an armor that can
Blah, blah,
turn
blah,
intangible,
blah,
a
Godbuster,
super tiny
the
armor that can mess
virtual
with your
armor.
insides, and an armor made of white sticky alien goo. Definitely not legal in all 50 states.
In order to remain as flexible as possible, though, his standard go-to is the Model Prime. It has all the classic Iron Man staples and has even incorporated
Yes.
size changing for extra strength, an invisible stealth mode,
And a badass lightning samurai sword? Say what you want about the smug son of a bitch, but he's definitely got style. And crippling alcoholism. But look who's
Ah,
It
true.
was more than likely that same devil-may-care attitude.
That
led
Devil
to
in a Bottle is a
secret
very
invasion of the
heart-wrenching
world, which
storyline
has
and
had no
has
consequences.
been very good since then.
Look, Wiz, when you build a space laser strong enough to wipe out alien fleets in one shot, I don't think the Mandarin is going to interrupt your shawarma lunch date.
That space laser is a Dyson sphere, a speculative superstructure that is meant to encircle an entire star and harness its energy. Something only possible by a theoretical Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale.
It's basically when you're galaxy-brained enough to draw power from the entire solar system.
I know it's
Yeah.
comics, but the fact that Tony just has one of these lying around is insane. Known as
Oh,
the
beyond.
Thor's Hammer, Tony's incomplete sphere is strong enough to destroy a planet at only a 2% charge.
Didn't you work on
That
one of
makes
those?
sense.
I remember you talking about how it'd solve your student loan problems once and for all.
On behalf of the families of several planets that no longer exist, I'm not legally at liberty to discuss that.
Years
Oh,
of protecting
jeez.
the world from aliens, gods, and even his friends. All of that stuff wore Tony down and turned him into the one thing he promised himself he would never become: a narc.
Siding with the U.S. government's enforcement of the superhuman
Civil
Registration Act
War
led to a literal
was
civil war between
awful.
superheroes.
God awful.
Wouldn't be his last.
Though it did prove he could hang with the best of them. He's beaten Captain America in hand-to-hand combat, survived blows from Thor,
Beat
and
Reed
even
Richards
took
in
down
chess
the
5
World
times
Breaker
is
Hulk.
probably the
He
biggest
matched Magneto. Magneto, the guy that controls
accomplishment
metal,
on
the thing
here.
that surrounds Tony's entire body by amplifying his power with Jupiter's magnetic field.
I would not count that because that comic was specifically a just for fun big fight thing.
Tony's tech gets. In the movies, this is the same guy that figured out time travel just sitting around one evening. In the time it takes me to down a beer, Tony's already shattered the laws of physics. Yeah,
That's
sure.
true.
Go to the Middle Ages and play nights with Dr. Doom, you scamp.
Perhaps his greatest invention of all, however, was the E-scape, an entire virtual universe where the only limit is his imagination.
The 90s did a lot of
Not predictable. He made an armor out of it.
yeah, virtual reality E-scape stuff.
This virtual armor is composed of solid holograms that can form any weapon.
Tells you anything you can imagine, so the
Even
best
it
armor is
likely
a
cannot compare to the armor Tony created inside the E-scape, the Godbuster.
It's literally Iron Man
Yes.
going Super Saiyan. The Godbuster was so powerful it destroyed the entire E-scape in a single blast, along with the AI controlling all of it.
An earlier iteration of the Godbuster was able to stand up to Celestials, cosmic gods that can warp reality,
Yes.
like Galactus, Odin, and Franklin, who can threaten the multiverse with their power.
So it lives up to the friggin' name in case you were wondering. But it isn't that kind of power that makes Tony special. After a life spent wallowing in vice and pleasure, Tony rebuilt himself into a man he could be proud of. Someone who could sacrifice everything to save the world.
Endgame spoilers, man.
That man of iron had a heart of gold.
You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
Privatizing world peace is not a
All
good
right,
thing,
that's
Tony.
set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, if you want the same level of confidence as these two billionaires...
Here we go, getting into the... Okay, so we'll go ahead and skip on past there. So, excuse me, sorry, I am still having some respiratory congestion nonsense that I'm not so happy with. Whew. All right, so after all that, yes, I am still very firmly in the camp of Iron Man right now, even though I very much wish that Batman could get a win. Because he needs it at this point. He's the one character they've put in this more than any other. This is like, what, his 4th appearance now? He won against Captain America, which I'm not 100% sure I really agree with on that one. But then lost everything since then. Like I said, I'm 100% certain he's going to lose this. The stuff that they're talking about with him fighting Darkseid in the Hellbat armor is probably the big red herring in there. But yeah, no, Tony and most of his armors, honestly, his most basic armor is probably equipped to deal with the Hellbat. Much less the Godslayer armor. 100% in going Iron Man, Tony Stark's gonna win, but I really want it to go the other direction. All right, here we go. And go. Okay. We got like a full-on 3D background stuff here with sprite.
I can
work.
respect a man with a healthy sense of paranoia and billions to spare, but Steve and Nat are really up my ass about this. Take the Watchtower offline now.
Bruce, you don't want this fight, Tony. It'll be the biggest mistake of your life.
Nice little intro there with...
The Watchtower is being attacked.
Seriously, Bats? I figured out hacking in the 2nd grade. I don't think I got in here. Aside from...
Not a fan of this music at all.
I thought we were grown-ups here.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, already in Hellbat, so that really tells you everything you need to know.
Friday, I need Soul's Hammer online pronto. Match my coordinates. I'll try to... Oh.
Okay, well, let's just use the Watchtower as a club. Why not? The whole point was defending the Watchtower, but
Respect. I am Batman.
that was an empty suit.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Got a suit for everything, Bats, including busting wannabe gods like you.
Oh. Wannabe gods from the man who says that he's just playing human.
Bust this.
God, oh, this music is just the worst. It completely takes me out of this. Okay, that's funny. Oh. The holographic armor?
Divert some power to hacking that suit. Like I said, 2nd grade. Friday, fire the hammer.
Okay. Sure. Okay. No more Hellbat armor.
Armors, Tony. Just you and me. Man to man.
Well, man,
if that were the case, then yeah, if that's all it came down to, then yeah, absolutely, Batman would destroy him.
Model 58, the nano armor. Snuck it into your body back on the watchtower.
Oh, jeez.
Initiate self-destruct.
There it is. Wow, okay.
Friday.
No ad.
Here's a drink.
Yeah.
KO! Oh, come on! You
Hey.
know, if they fought naked, Batman would have beat the shit out of him.
While Batman is
Well,
a character
yeah.
defined by his tenacity, preparedness, and utter genius, so is Tony Stark. So neither could rely on that skill set alone to pull them through.
And it shouldn't come as a surprise. Batman's standard batsuit couldn't quite hold up to the firepower of even the most basic Iron Man armors. The
Yes.
batsuit is surprisingly tough, sure, but it isn't taking hits from a dude that can punch apart Manhattan. And despite Bats having a ton of nifty gadgets, Iron Man's armors were way more varied and powerful, with so many unique and often alien
Yes, I don't think
abilities. there was
anyone
no
would
way
really
Batman
argue
could
against
predict all of
that.
them.
With time, he could certainly figure out a plan of attack, but since Tony is just as much a genius schemer as Batman, he could do the same.
No, I disagree with that
Where he would
statement.
have won, especially with his ace
This
in the
is
hole,
the
the
Vincent
Hellbat.
Justice League,
Batman's raw
ineffective.
power
Yeah,
and
okay.
speed absolutely dwarfed the majority of Iron Man's arsenal, and could have killed him immediately were it not for Tony's own trump cards.
Like the Godbuster, which was definitely strong enough to contend with it. The Hellbat could take on Darkseid, but a weaker version of the Godbuster could hold its own against Celestials.
Darkseid was a being capable of threatening the multiverse with his power and moving many times faster than light, but the
Yes.
Celestials were capable of the same.
With an armor that strong, Tony could buy
I would
himself
still
enough
put
time to
Darkseid
break
a good
out all his other
above
tricks,
most Marvel
like sneaking
Celestials,
nano
but
armors into Batman's body,
that's all.
phasing through him with ghost tech, draining the Hellbat's power, or just hacking his suit and shutting it off.
And with an army of armor,
I disagree with saying he could just hack it.
Batman off
but-
long enough to employ those strategies. Hell, since he can control them remotely, he technically didn't even need to be there and put himself in harm's way.
And
Indeed.
remember, the Hellbat used Batman's own life
Final
force
Fantasy
as a
15
battery.
first
He
man,
needed to fight
and
quick, or else his own
second.
armor would kill him first. With Tony throwing an army at him, he didn't have a good way of doing that. Tony just had way too much shit to throw at Batman, while Batman didn't have the time or options he needed to keep up.
Batman may have been a god among men, but Iron Man's wealth of gadgets, insanely powerful tech, and great
And that's where I feel it was
allowed him
going,
to
yeah.
crush the Cape Crusader.
You
Tony
may think
Stark
it's
just
an
has way
injustice
too
that
much
Batman's
of
gonna
way
get
too
avenged,
high
but
power
Iron Man was in a whole
things.
nother league.
The winner is Iron Man.
Again, does not surprise me in the least whatsoever. Makes me very sad.
Show called Last Laugh on Rooster Teeth.
But
It's all about people trying to make each other laugh.
not a big fan of this episode, but we'll get
Check it out by
into
clicking the
that
box below
afterward here.
Thanks.
What's our next time? Goku Black and the Reverse Flash? Okay. Alright. Time traveling supervillains, I guess? I'll probably give that one to Professor Zoom when we get there. Eobard Thawne's insane because he can do everything that all the Flashes can do. But we'll get there when we get there. Oh, that's a weird matchup. Why? Other than them being time traveling villains, okay, I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more to that. All right, well, as far as this match goes here, definitely not my favorite. The mid-season return, it had the big name appeal for the mid-season return, but I don't know, the actual quality behind it did not resonate with me. I think putting in yet another match where Batman loses is probably a mistake for coming back from the big season wait. I mentioned many times that music, hated. Like I enjoy where they sampled Black Sabbath's Iron Man in there, but the vocals really threw me off, and a lot of the instrumental just clashed. I did not like it. took me out a bunch. The sprite, the pixel animation, I didn't really get behind on this one too much. The reasons for the fight I can 100% see happening, you know. Batman's up on the watchtower, he's doing his thing. Tony Stark's like, I ain't having anyone with their paranoid craziness monitoring me shut it down or else. I totally see Tony doing that. And then, you know, Batman having to respond to that 100%. So the way they established it, I think, was probably the best way they could have established an opening fight between these two, for sure. But everything else, I was not a fan of. I enjoyed the way the ending was more than just Tony overpowering Bruce, because they could very, very easily have done that 100%. But they didn't. They went a much more creative way, which led to a more engaging and exciting end. So that was pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed, you know, snuck a nanosuit on, self-destruct, boom, cool. And Boomstick, yes, you're 100% right. If these two fought naked, Batman would beat the ever-loving crap out of Tony, no contest, for sure. I highly disagree by saying that Tony could just hack Batman's Hellbat suit. For one, I think it's a bit too alien, and I think that really undersells the sophistication of Bruce's own programming skills. But you know, that's a thing that I'm sure crossover writers would go back and forth on, depending on just who they liked better. But in the middle of, you know, a life and death battle back and forth between the two, I do not think that Tony would be able to do that while also having to multitask the fight. If he was just doing it without Bruce being aware of there being a confrontation, then I think with some amount of time he could, but not on the fly in the middle of a fight like that. But all overall, not my favorite fight. Probably this is my least favorite of this whole season thus far, for sure. I just the progression of the action I did not care for too much, especially Batman using the Watchtower as a club when the whole way that this thing got started was him trying to preserve the Watchtower. That was just asinine and dumb. And yes, I know you're just supposed to sit back, turn your brain off, and enjoy the action, but I can't do that when it's something that just contradictory. But you know, it's what it is. It's not a big deal, right? So if you enjoyed it, fine, all power to you. Definitely not my favorite. Definitely not one I really enjoyed much at all. And probably like 90% of that was the music taking me out of it constantly. But what are you gonna do? In the end, that's how I feel, and maybe you felt better. Hopefully you did. I like when other people enjoy things that I don't like, you know? So, with that out of the way, join us next week for hopefully I'll have another Death Battle reaction with my buddy Sweet. And in 2 weeks, Goku Black versus Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. Professor Zoom, yes. That is gonna be weird, but we'll see how it all goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And while I don't think that this fight itself deserves it, I think that the amount of effort that goes into all of these, of course, deserves a great big hell yeah!